Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead, and welcome back if you have been here before, and if you're brand new, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm Barbara. I'm in Tennessee in Zone 7B, and y'all, today we got a couple of things that we got to take care of today. One in particular has to be done today, and I'm going to tell you what that is, and then one is another project that needs to be done today, but it's not as urgent, but we're going to try to get it done, right? So if you're brand new here, we live in Tennessee on 75 plus acres of land. You'll see I have a high tunnel behind me. We're going to spend most of our time, we're going to be in both places today. So I do have a high tunnel, and then where I'm standing right now is my in-ground outside garden that we use only in the summertime. And so we'll be here, and then we also have a growing space behind our house, which is raised beds. We started with 4 raised beds, added a 5th one, then added the high tunnel, then added this. So over the last 4 years, we have expanded our growing capability. And y'all, 4 years ago, I had never put my hands in dirt. Now that's hard to believe, but it is so, and it is true. But I'm so glad that you're here. So one of the things that we're going to tackle today, or 2 things we're going to tackle today, is one, we got to save our watermelons. And I say save because the weather here, we have had a lot of rain over the last week, and we're scheduled to get rain for the next 7 to 8 days. Now, as a gardener, you know good old rainwater will make your plants do some things that tap water will not do. So we love the rainwater. However, when you get too much of a good thing, it can start to really mess things up. And one of the things that you notice if you're in an area that gets a lot of rain is that when you're growing your vegetables, they will split, especially your tomatoes, and things with a thin skin are more prone to split when you have an abundance of rain. Also, y'all, we have things on drip irrigation, and I just turned it off today. I probably should have turned it off 2 days ago. I didn't even think about it because, again, the rain has been in the forecast every day. It's been like a downpour for like maybe 30 minutes, and so I really wasn't thinking, okay, that'll be enough. But it's been consecutive over the last 4 or 5 days. And the last 2 days have been really, really heavy rains. And y'all, we got rain in the forecast for the next 7 days. So we went a whole spell, like 2 or 3 weeks, dry, temperatures hot, no rain. And now last week, this week, and the first part of next week, we've been in the low 80s, which is very odd in the middle of July in Tennessee. It's been like 80, 82. So from that standpoint, it's been pleasant to work outside during the day, but you can't work outside during the day because it's raining. Every time I come outside, it is literally raining. So this is like literally my 4th attempt today to get these things done. So the first thing that you're going to see is we got to get our watermelons. Our watermelons are splitting. Every time we try to come out here to get them, it pours down raining. And so, we've already lost, I can see 3 or 4 already that have been lost just from splitting because of the water and just the extra excess. So we're going to see how many we can get today and try to get as many as we can so we can save the watermelons. Okay, y'all, we are combating the rain. It is forecasted to rain. Like I said, it's been raining for the last week. It's forecasted to rain for another week. As soon as I get busy, it starts raining. 3rd time out here today. Every time I come out here, it starts to pour. So it's sprinkling right now. So we're at it again. We are actually trying to get the watermelons because they are splitting because of all the rain. So we are on Operation Watermelon. Let's get as many as we can before it starts pouring down rain again. Here's what we've already gotten so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already in the cart, and then we have 2 more right there, so that's 7. And then we have more to go down the road and see what all we have. My husband has backed his truck up because the cart is going to be full, and we're going to put as many in the truck as we can. Now, as gardeners, we always want the rain because the plants love the rainwater, but too much of anything is always not good when it comes to gardening. And when you have rain that is sustained, your crops will split. Your tomatoes are prone to split when you have a lot of rain, as well as the watermelons if you're growing those. So I'll turn the camera around and let you see as we kind of go through each one. And like I said, we've probably already lost 4 that I can see. Okay, this was a feat. Remember, this is a 100-foot row, so we went back and forth testing every single watermelon to see if it was ready to be picked. And then we threw away the ones that were already split. So we probably lost, I would say, probably 10 watermelons and probably at least 5 cantaloupe. But you can see we're loading them up in the truck. Look how big and beautiful they are. Really excited, but I hate that we lost so many. But it would have been a lot more had we not come out here today and just suffered through it in the rain. So literally it was sprinkling the whole time. My husband is just putting them all in the truck so that we don't leave them outside, and we have quite the bounty. Okay, so the second project that we're going to work on today is we're actually going to pull up our squash and our zucchini and our cucumbers. So in the outside, I've already started pulling things in the inside the tunnel, so I'll show you what I've already done. And now we're outside to start pulling up the same thing. So for those that are new to gardening, in terms of squash and zucchini, especially in the South, we battle with squash bugs. To me, there is no way around it. I have tried everything, and I've watched other gardeners in my area who have tried everything, and I have not heard of one single solution that will keep squash bugs away or get rid of them effectively. So my strategy is that I just succession plant. That means I plant more than one round of squash and zucchini. Because I have a long growing season, I can do that. Now, y'all, my squash this season has showed out. Like, I can't even complain that I am literally just now pulling my squash plants up. They are just in the last week have demonstrated some brown yellowing of the leaves and squash bugs. These squash plants and zucchini plants were out here were planted April the 28th in the ground. So they have been in the ground for 90 days and have performed extremely well. We have harvested probably upwards of 50 to 60 squash and zucchini combined every single week. I'm overloaded. I have preserved it. I have cooked it. I have sold it. I have given it away. And right now, as I'm doing this video, my counter is covered with squash and zucchini. So I cannot complain at all. We have had an amazing crop year when it comes to squash and zucchini, among other things. And so I'm going to pull up the squash and zucchini today to get it out of the garden. And then I already have some squash and zucchini plants ready to go in the ground to plant. I think I got to check and see how many I have. And then we'll just do another succession. So squash and zucchini have about a 60-day maturity from the time you put it in a transplant in the ground till it's time to harvest is about 60 days. Right now, I have about almost 90 days left in my growing season, so I can do more squash planting at the end of July. Also, one strategy is a lot of people will wait until this time of the year in my area to actually plant their squash and zucchini for the first time, because if you plant it now, as the summer goes on, you will have less pest pressure and you will deal with the squash bugs a lot less. So that's also another strategy, is that instead of planting it at the beginning of the summer, you can just wait until later in the summer and plant your squash. Or you can do like me, plant it at the beginning, rip it up, plant it again. Like literally, I could have 3 successions of squash and zucchini easily within my growing season. I will only have 2 just because these things have done so well. So let's hop in and let's see what we have when it comes to the squash and zucchini out here in the tunnel. Excuse me, out here in the garden. Okay, so here, like if you're looking forward, this is all the squash and zucchini in one area. Then I do have some additional squash in another row. Overall, the plants don't look that bad. So if you're new here, the white stuff that you're seeing on this zucchini is actually not powdery mildew, like when when the zucchini gets diseased. This is actually a variegated variety that has variegated leaves. It is the Dunja variety from Johnny Seeds. I say that because the first year I grew it, I thought, oh, okay, I have powdery mildew like right off the bat, but it's not. It's a variegated leaf. But you can see overall it looks pretty healthy. But if I turn this way, you can see that I'm just now, like literally y'all, just now starting to get some yellowing and brown leaves of the plants. I'm seeing a few squash bugs and they're just slowing down. Like I see a big old zucchini right in there somewhere, but overall, I was harvesting probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 a day on the low side, and it's slowed down quite a bit. So I'm gonna get in here. It's really, really thick, but I'm gonna get in here the best that I can and start uprooting some of these plants, and then I'll meet you back on the other side of the camera. Okay, let's chat. So I'm halfway through this row. I've probably pulled up probably 7 or 8 zucchini plants, and I've harvested like 4 squash. So again, the production has slowed down significantly. And so if you're wondering, how do I know when it's time to take them out? When your production starts slowing down, and again, it's supposed to slow down, right? Squash, I don't know of something that's going to last the whole entire growing season, especially in my zone. It's supposed to slow down. When you start getting less squash, when you start to see your leaves deteriorate, and when you start to see the squash bugs, that's when you know it's time to pull it up. So I'm going to keep going, but again, a lot of hard work. And even though it's not hot out here, it's very humid, and so I am sweating a ton. Yeah. It's funny to see all this open space cleared, and I saw an eggplant plant that was up under where the squash had kind of wrapped, the zucchini had wrapped around, and then it was covered by a marigold. I have a whole eggplant here. It has purple flowers, it has no fruit, but I didn't even know it was here. It was completely covered up. And you know, squash and zucchini, they vine, so they need space. Once they get really, really big, they get a bit unruly or whatever. But today is all about kind of just maintenance, out with the old, in with the new, because like I said, I can plant more squash because I have time. Now, in terms of in your zone, look and see when when your first frost date is, and how many days from today until your first frost date. If it's more than 70 days, then you can still plant squash. If it's less than that, then you probably won't have time. But that is the way to test to see if you have time to plant more. And for those of you who planted your squash and you did not have success, you still have time to plant another round. And a lot of times people will actually wait and not do their squash at the beginning of the summer. They'll start to plant it right about now because they know it'll be less pest pressure and the squash bugs will be on their way out. And so you'll see, if I decide to go ahead and plant more squash and zucchini, you'll see as it grows, I will deal less with pests, because again, it'll be, by the time they get mature, it'll be in September, like the first part of September, somewhere along in there. And that's when the temperatures will start to get a little bit cooler, just a tad, and then daylight will change just a tad. So all of those things aid in it being a little bit easier to grow squash and zucchini later on in the season. So I'm gonna hop back to it and finish cleaning out this row. I see some squash that's ready to be harvested, so I'm gonna get those, and we'll see how much we have after we get done. Okay, y'all, looks like great destruction, because it is. All of the plants are pulled up out here. You can see one big pile. I gotta wait on my husband. I threw over the fence what I could, but I'm gonna need his help. There's another pile. But you can see this whole row where the zucchini and squash was. All of those holes are empty. And then we also had another patch of squash there that's empty. So it's all pulled up just like that. Now it's just the cleanup part. Okay, we're in the tunnel now, and I want to show you what I've already done. You can kind of see the destruction behind me there. Well, I pulled up a lot of the cucumber plants. So the reason why I'm pulling up the cucumber plants is because I'm seeing some disease on the plants. Now, I have successfully grown cucumbers from my first year of gardening. So for 4 years straight, I've always been able to grow cucumbers. This is the first year I've ever even seen disease on cucumbers, and I'm not quite sure. Lexi, get out. Y'all, Lexi, I'm gonna speak good things. I'm gonna speak good things. she knows she ain't supposed to be in the greenhouse. Like, she knows better. I'm not quite sure what possessed her to do that. And I know like a week or so ago, I posted a video and y'all told me that she was in my beds. I could not believe it. I mean, I can believe that she was in my beds. I can't believe that I didn't see it while I was shooting the video. Y'all pray for Lexi and pray for me. Anyway, let's keep going with our video. So the reason why I pulled the cucumbers out, like I said, I was seeing disease. I've never seen disease on my cucumbers before. I'm not sure what caused it. Hey, I've had plenty of cucumbers. Not even sure that I need any more. But I haven't made anything with the cucumbers as of yet. I've just been putting them in my water. I've been selling them and giving them away. But I want to make some cucumber limeade before the season ends. Some cucumber limeade concentrate. And I also, it was something else I wanted to do. I want to make some tzatziki sauce. I can't remember what else. If you got any other cucumber ideas besides pickles, let me know. I still have pickles left from last year, so I don't think I'm going to do pickles this year because I'm the only one in the house that eats them, and I just don't think I'm going to do them. But anyway, I've gotten rid of the first probably 10 spots. I still have some cucumbers left. The ones on the very end are doing well. I don't see disease on those, so I may keep those. Those are the long sashimi cucumbers. It's like English cucumbers. But everything else I think I'm going to get rid of and just pull out. Again, it's not worth it to me to keep the plants in here that's diseased. And if I don't grow another cucumber this season, I'm good. I'm good. But we already have some cucumber plants ready to go in the ground. So let's get the rest of these up and out, and let's see what we have left. Okay, for the most part, it is done. I got some hanging that's been cut. It's just hanging on the trellis. I just got to go pull it down. Because cucumbers vine so much, it's more than just pulling up the plant. I had to go through, cut the vines. They were all intertangled. I just ended up letting all the cucumbers go. I didn't even keep the ones on the end. So some of the, let me show you this. So this is the disease that I've been seeing. I don't know what that is at all. I don't know what it's due to. I don't know if it's a pest. Now, remember in this particular row, I had a squash plant that was planted here by accident in between the cucumbers. I do see squash bugs, so I don't know if the squash bugs, well, no. I saw this before the squash ever even stopped slowing down. And it just kept getting worse and worse on the cucumbers. Y'all know what this is? Let me know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's the mosaic virus. I'm not sure. So that's one area of disease that I saw. Also, a lot of my cucumbers were bloated. So instead of them being their normal shape, they were, I mean, it looks like they're bloated, basically. And usually that is, I think, because of too much water, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I've never had issues with cucumbers. So this is my first time. But it's on drip, so it really shouldn't be getting too much water because it's on drip, and it's been on drip the whole time. That's how I've always done it. So I'm not sure what caused it. I'm not going to, put too much stock in it. It is what it is. But that just goes to show you that on this gardening journey, you can grow something successfully for a long time and then not have success. And you cannot grow something successfully for a long time and then have success. That's why it's a journey. There's many twists and turns, and you never know what's going to happen from season to season, from crop to crop. But we just keep it moving, right? We just keep it moving. So that whole row of cucumber is done. That is more than a notion. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to let the soil rest for a couple of days before I replant the stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I do see some squash bugs, but now that I've removed the squash plant, I'm assuming they'll go away. But I may wait a few more days, let my husband get this stuff out of here. It's easier to let it decompose for like a day or two. It gets lighter. It's easier to pick up, not so many trips. So although it's not good to leave this kind of debris, you know, on your ground or in your garden, in the greenhouse. But let's take a look and see what plants we have that can go in the ground, how many we have. I know that I don't have enough for this whole space, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, had I not started these already, I probably wouldn't even be pressed to do more. I'm tired, y'all. And really, the only thing that I want to make on the cucumbers is cucumber limeade, and I may have enough on my counter to make me a batch and see if I like it, and I can always do more next year. But on the squash and zucchini, y'all, I'm really covered. I really am. Let's go see what we have in terms of transplants ready to go out and see what the inventory looks like. Here is, I have a tray full of stuff on the table right here. That's 4 cucumbers, the straight 8 variety. And then in here, I have sunflowers. I have some lemon basil and some regular Genovese basil. I have 2 more rows of cucumbers, which is 8. So I got 12 cucumbers, more than I thought. And then I have like 3 or 4 zucchini and squash. So that won't be enough to fill up what I have pulled up out here as well as out there. But I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not going to even put more in the ground. I think I'm just going to let this be as it is. And as you can see, these cucumber plants, we started these, y'all, over a month ago. They're ready to definitely grow in the ground. And again, it won't take them long, you know, within probably 45 days or so, I'll have more cucumbers again, if I decide to go ahead and just put them in the ground. I thought I did some Boston pickling. Okay, yep. I got some Boston pickling cucumbers as well, in case I decided to make pickles. Then I could do that, and you can see again it's been ready to go in the ground. So maybe I'll do that over the next few days. I think I'm just gonna let it be for tonight, let the soil have a rest, get the debris out of here, see if I have any more bugs, and then I'll replant it. And then here's my basil. A lot of my basil has gone to seed because I just haven't been able to keep up with picking it, as well as the heat. So I did some new basil because I haven't even made pesto yet, y'all, this year. Have not even made pesto, so we gotta have pesto before the end of the season. But this basil is ready to go. I'll have it before the end of the season. And I should say, once things slow down, I don't know when they ever will slow down, but I will dry me some more basil and make me some more pesto. I do not want this basil to go to waste. A lot of it, like I said, has gone to seed out there, but I need to put that on my list next week to do a big harvest of basil and try to do it every single week so I can dry it for the winter. I think you guys were with me when I made some Italian seasoning. Y'all, that Italian seasoning is so good, and I only have half of a bottle left, so I want to try to make some more. So we got to do another big herb thing. I told y'all it's hard to get to these herbs because I always be prioritizing the tomatoes and the peppers and all that good stuff. But we have stuff ready to go in the ground. So again, this is a lesson in being intentional, a lesson in succession planting, because I did this, you know, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago because I knew I was going to plant again. Now when I pull this stuff up, I have this stuff ready to go in the ground, and within 45 days I will have new crops, right? New crops. So that's what it's all about. Let me show you the final look at all the watermelons. We had put them in my husband's truck, and then we decided, you know what, I don't want to bring all of those watermelons in the house, nor do I want them in my garage. So we decided to just load them up in the greenhouse. We will probably sell the majority of these watermelons, and I'll show you some pictures. I'm going to insert some pictures right here. The very first watermelon we picked was actually before this video today. We picked it a couple of days ago. Excuse me. It was 28.2 pounds. We cut into it. It's so good. It's one of the strawberry watermelons. Oh, it tastes so good. Tastes so good. So hopefully these are just as good as the one that we picked. Take a look. You can see some pictures right here. Doesn't that look good? Oh my goodness. So good. Let me show you the final thing of all the watermelons that we have. I think we have, how many did I count? I think I counted like 20 plus watermelons. I lost my count already. 20 plus watermelons, and I think we have almost 10 cantaloupe, which is amazing. This is the biggest cantaloupe harvest I have ever this is the only cantaloupe harvest I've ever had. let me back up. Not the big, it is the biggest, but it's the only. Biggest and only. So y'all, we saved our watermelons. Hopefully we pulled up the stuff, the squash, the zucchini, and the cucumbers, getting ready for some more. And we have our very first cantaloupe harvest. I cannot wait to cut into one of the cantaloupes and see if it's good. Cannot wait. Let me show you this last clip. You can see they're all in this cart. You can see them over there in the wheelbarrow. Watermelon for days. Thank you guys so much for joining me today as we did a lot of stuff and tackled 2 major projects in the outside and on the inside. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.